Hollow Knight is one of the biggest Metroidvanias in history. It has some of the most complete and well-designed characters, as well as the most crap ones. I'm looking at you, midwife. But other than that, why does this game about bugs killing bugs feel so good? And why does it feel like whenever I hit a pogo, it feels like I'm a god? But first, context. So what makes a good game? Is it a rich story, an immersive atmosphere, or a banger soundtrack? Is it smooth controls or well-designed areas? How about lively NPCs? Is this the best game? Or are you really describing Core in the House for the Nintendo DS? Well, it's actually all of these things. So stick around to the end of the video to fully understand what makes Hollow Knight such a great game. Atmosphere. One of the biggest reasons that make Hollow Knight so good is its atmosphere. Every area feels different. Take a look at the empty crossroads, then at the lush areas of Greenpath, then at the calm caves of the Crystal Peaks. Now back to the crossroads. Now back to Greenpath. If you look around, you can see the dark and scary and cramped caverns of Deep Nest. Now back to the Crystal Peaks. Now crossroads. And now back to Greenpath. And now look, it's Yoda! He's here for some reason. The different atmospheres in Hollow Nest makes it feel alive, like every area could actually exist in real life. Each area has different enemies, architecture, color theme, and even the sub-areas are different. The Stone Sanctuary is a sub-area in Greenpath. It is one of the best examples of how to correctly make a sub-area. For example, it feels like a part of Greenpath with overgrown moss and vines, while still feeling much darker and scarier than the land that surrounds it, with stone statues and the inhabitant no eyes. It's a perfect mix of being different while at the same time still feeling connected to the rest of Greenpath. Another thing that allows the world to feel so connected is the soundtrack. And holy crap did Christopher Larkin cook with this one. The crossroads feel empty with a sad and slow deep track, while its neighbor Greenpath has a much more lively track with higher notes, faster tempos, while still maintaining the same soft, slow bass as the crossroads, highlighting the fact that even the overgrown Greenpath is still a part of a dead kingdom where everyone is very much dead. Content. Yeah, I know, it's common sense, but it's still an important part of what makes a great game. Take Minecraft for example. Would you still play Minecraft if it looked like that? I wouldn't. The reason Minecraft is so fun is because of all the things that you can do, the different blocks they have, and the infinite possibilities. Hollow Knight also has a crap ton of content, with over 45 boss fights, 40 collectible charms, and 17 different areas. Like I said before, this is one of the biggest Metroidvanias in history. And in all of this content, half the things you will not find on your first playthrough. Out of the 47 bosses, you only need to fight 13 of them to finish the game. And now plus all the DLCs like God Home and the Grim Troop, the amount of content that Hollow Knight has makes the game fun and makes exploration that much more exciting. Just imagine walking through the Kingdom's Edge and then suddenly finding a Colosseum. Exploration is one of the most important parts of a Metroidvania game. And with all this content, Hollow Knight makes the exploration part of the game super entertaining and rewarding. The amount of content in sub-areas also makes the game feel more alive, like things move without you, making for a more immersive experience. Oh hey look, it's Hornet! Oh what the boss fight! As a Metroidvania game, it is important to have some nice combat from time to time, and this is where Hollow Knight really shines. All of Hollow Knight's boss fights are very well made, well maybe except for Markov. If we look at Hollow Knight's boss fights, we can see what Team Cherry really excelled at. Let's take a look at one of the best boss fights in Hollow Knight and break it down. The Mantis Lords. These three lords guard the entrance to Deep Nest, and defeating them gives you the mark of pride and also respect. But challenging them and defeating them is no easy task. There are two phases to this fight. The first phase, where the first Mantis Lord will come at you, and since she only has 3 attacks, it's quite easy, giving you ample time to adjust to the fight, heal, and get in the zone. But after defeating the first Mantis, the second and third will join the fight together. And let me tell you, this is one of the most fun and rhythmic fights ever. Even though they still only have 3 attacks, the 2 Mantises will attack at the same time or once after another, creating combos, making attacking, dodging, and healing much more difficult as you have to track 2 different enemies at the same time. However, their attacks are also quite easy to read, so once you get used to the speed of the fight and tracking 2 enemies at the same time, this becomes, unironically, one of the best fights in Hollow Knight. This can also be seen with the Radiance fight, the Watcher Knights, and obviously Marmu. A smooth and challenging boss fight makes the game much more enjoyable. It makes defeating them so much more satisfying. NPC. Other than good boss fights and environments, it's also important to have other creatures or NPCs for the player to interact with. And this is even important at Hollow Knight, a game focused on a dead civilization. In the game, you can encounter a few NPCs while exploring. And it makes sense. There are people that just survived the kingdom's fall and are here to spread some wisdom, while others that are just like you, the knight, come into Hollow Nest to try to figure out what's happened and explore the land. And it's not the fact that there's lots of NPCs that you can interact with that makes the game so great. It's the fact that every NPC feels alive. Even though they don't have a lot of programming or dialogue, except for Zoe, each NPC has their own personality and habits. Even the NPCs that don't have dialogue can feel alive. For example, the two bugs in the hot springs. When the knight walks in, they can be seen talking about something while soaking in the hot tub. But if the knight gets too close, they shut up and look down at the ground. And if this is not human, I don't know what is. Like, what would you do if you're talking to your friend at a hot spring and some empty, random, black being, with no nose might I add, comes into the hot spring fully closed? You probably shut the hell up too. Every character, except Midwife, is super well made. Their personalities show through in subtle ways that make them very fun to talk to. Another example is the nailsmith. When you first talk to him, he mistakes you for another bug. This detail shows you that he had a loyal customer base, and has mended a lot of different nails and weapons. And even more, after he upgrades your nail to the pure nail, he asks you to slash him with it in order for him to feel the impact of the pure nail, making him even more human, and maybe slightly insane, because technically slashing him with the pure nail would kill him, but it does make him feel more human, so let's talk about the Dumb Defender. Behind his bed, if you can even call it that because it's made of crap, you can see the statues of the 5 royal knights that he created. And even in his sleep, he talks about Ismo. This makes him feel real, with emotions and relationships. The amount of interactions and dialogue makes the NPCs in this game feel alive and makes you even more immersed. And that's the video. I do hope you liked it, and if this video does well, I'll make another one of these videos because there are some parts that I haven't really touched on, because those are a bit more complicated and need a bit more time. So just to make sure, you should like and subscribe and do all that. Mostly subscribe so you know when I'm gonna make my next video, do the YouTube stuff, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to watch this video next, or if you didn't enjoy this video, still watch it, maybe you'll like this one instead. Bye!